So I'm here in New York to take a look at one of the most historical documents on the planet. An original Declaration of Independence broadside. There's probably only 20 left in private hands, and I'm about to take a look at one right now. Jeremy?
Hey, Rick, yep.
I'm here for the broadside.
Come on in. There it is.
Definitely a wow moment.
A wow moment, right. This is an extremely rare July 1776 printing of the Declaration of Independence.
This is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my career.
I've been in this market for years, and it's a thrill to handle something like this. So the condition of this copy is truly exceptional. This was sourced from a private collection. It has never been sold at public auction and is highly sought after.
So, yeah, this is just incredible. This was right after the 4th of July. I think it was John Dunlop was a printer in Philadelphia. He goes out and he basically takes a copy from Congress and writes it all out, then goes back to the print shop, lays out his print, and starts printing these. They think he printed right around 200 of them, okay? And that was the original one. And then when other printers around the country got a hold of them, they also made copies, and this is the New Hampshire one, correct?
Correct.
That's the way the internet worked back then. I mean, you know, it was a little bit slower. So, I mean, you know, like 10 days later, people in New Hampshire are finding out about this.
Right.
A week or two later, it's probably in the Carolinas. And eventually, everybody knew about it. I imagine your local tavern, when this was first penned up, there was a lot of people standing around going, damn. This is like putting your thumb to the most powerful country in the world at the time.
Yeah. And you know what's really cool about this one? You can actually see the pinholes here in the corners, which indicates that it was displayed publicly.
It'd probably hang for a week. Everyone would come by and look at it. Oh, you know, after a few weeks, a poster for the new band was going to be there. They were never, ever meant to be saved.
Yeah.
As far as documents go, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my career. So how much are you looking for this?
This was displayed at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. It's in exceptional condition. It's extremely scarce. $2 million.
Okay. Everything looks right on it, but I just want a document expert to look at it.
Sure.
I have one coming down, best document guy in New York. Once he says everything's the real deal, we'll go from there, okay?
Fair.
Because a little bit of knowledge can always get you in trouble, and that's what I got.
I believe it's worth $2 million for this, but we'll leave it up to him and see what he thinks. I'll be curious to know where he lands.
So here we go.
Yeah, I am thrilled to see this. I'm Seth Kaller, and I'm a dealer and a museum collection builder and an expert in important historic documents.
Everything looks right to me, but like, I don't want to be 99% sure.
Right. I normally would have to take this out of the frame to authenticate it, but I've actually seen this exact copy before. Some of the things that we looked at when I first authenticated this was to compare this to all of the known copies of the same broadside. And part of what held it up, there are the nail holes from back then, which are not, you know, very consistent round nails like we have today. They're all handmade and different. And you can see on the handmade laid paper even the impression of individual letters. People think of the Declaration of Independence as the signed copy, but that was actually done a month later, really as a souvenir. The word had to get out by these printed documents. So there were a couple hundred printed on the night of July 4th to 5th. They're sent out by John Hancock, and the major cities where they arrive reprint them. And this copy actually was posted on a wall. So you can imagine 1776, somebody walking up to it and reading about this event that changed their lives.
All right, so I mean, it's 100% legit.
Absolutely.
All right. Brass tacks, what is it worth?
This particular one is a really beautiful copy. It's just a wonderful broadside, an important relic of history, and the world changed when the first people looked at this very document. I think this could go for $2 million at auction now.
That's what I wanted to hear, man. I will let you know what happens, man. I mean,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in. Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Good to see you. This is a fantastic, rare, earth-changing document. If Rick can purchase this, I think it would be great for him. I'd be a little jealous.
All right, so you said it was, it could be worth $2 million. Whenever you hear on the news something selling at an auction for a lot of money, that's the headline number. There is a ridiculous amount of fees. I would love to give you like $1.4 million.
It's a fair point you make about the fees. I mean, I know how it works. I would sell it to you for $1.5 million.
Okay. I'll meet you in the middle. 1.45, I think that's fair. I think we can both be happy with that.
I think we got a deal.
Oh my goodness, I own the Declaration of Independence.
Congratulations, congratulations.
I will get the money wired to you. I will pick it up from you tomorrow. I have a friend I want to show it to, so just keep it till tomorrow. And like I said, thanks again, Ben.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. So, 1.45 million, no fees for the auctioneers, get the deal done today. I'm happy. Cue the fireworks.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to sell a picture of Mary and Abraham Lincoln from, I believe, 1863.
I thought Abe only took photos by himself.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he's right about that.
Are you jealous?
Okay. All right, we're running a business here.
I'm here to sell my 1863 photo of Mary and Abraham Lincoln. I'm a collector of 19th century photos, and this was part of a collection of 11 photographs that were unidentified. And it substantiated the importance of the collection because it had Mary and Abraham Lincoln together.
This is really intriguing. It's an ambrotype. You know what that means?
I just know that in ambrotypes, it took like 30 minutes to develop, and they had to be fixed straight with some...
No, it was the way photographs were done. The film wasn't as good as it is today, obviously, like that. So it took a long time to expose it. And so they would have hooks on the wall that would go around like that, and you had to push your head into them for at least 5 seconds. It took forever to take a photograph back then. It was really, really expensive.
Yeah, Mary was quite the shopper. I could relate to her. Her and Abe almost didn't even get married because she shopped too much.
No. They were going to get married in 1840 when he was in the state legislature in Illinois.
But Abe was like, no, you be spending too much, girl.
I don't know where you get your history from. Abe did not have a lot of money, was just starting his legal career, so they postponed the marriage until his law firm took off, which it did, so they were able to get married. All right, so where'd you get this?
I bought it from a collector who sold me a collection of 11 photographs that were unidentified, and I painstakingly was able to identify every single one of them and did recognize it to be Abraham and Mary together.
And no documentation, anything like that?
Nothing at all.
Okay, so how much do you want for this?
I feel it's 1 in a million, so I'm asking $1 million.
Whoa, $1 million.
$1 million.
Okay, so I can call someone and take a look at it. I have kind of a renowned expert on photo identification. So give me a few minutes, I'll go give her a call, okay?
Okay.
I don't know of another photo of Abraham and Mary Todd Lincoln together. So if it is real, it's probably the only one in existence. So it's something that I just have to look into. Maureen, how's it going?
Good.
So here we go.
Gorgeous. Supposed to be Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln.
Yeah,
I have my doubts.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
absolutely.
This is a really beautiful photograph. It's an ambrotype, as you know. And ambrotype, they enhanced the cheeks and the lips to make them look more lifelike. So Abraham Lincoln was a very distinctive-looking individual and had a particular style of beard. You have to look at everything in the photograph, from what they're wearing to what type of picture it is, to then what's happening with the face. The issue with this guy being Abraham Lincoln, you can see that his nose is a little bit different, his eyes are a little bit different. And Mary Todd's face is a little wider.
But there are some things about Abraham's face. He had a nose that was crooked, and he definitely has one in this photo as well.
I have to admit, I know why you think this is Abraham Lincoln, because he has that sort of gaunt shape to his head. But there's another thing we can look at, and that is facial comparison software.
Okay.
So it actually lays one face on top of the other.
They have to be the same size.
It resizes them.
What's that?
It resizes the heads so that
Because
they're-
I use a caliper, and
Right.
I check the eyes, and they're a match.
Okay. But you can see that this woman has sort of a different eyebrows.
I don't want to be difficult here, but I feel I'm an expert. I look for other things besides just face. I look at the clothes, I look at the background, I check.
Yes, so do I. I look at everything.
Okay. It's not a problem. It's your career. You have a right to discredit yourself. But you know what?
But I've been doing this for a really long time.
Okay.
And a lot of people come to me saying that they have.
They'll be coming to me in 10 years. I'm honest to God.
I know you think this is
Respectfully
worth $1 million,
disagree.
and
No,
you
it's-
would like it to be worth $1 million. And all I'm saying is, it's my opinion that it's not Abraham Lincoln.
Someone's making a mistake.
So your opinion is it's not real?
It's not.
Thanks for coming in. You're the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so you heard Maureen.
Okay, so, all right, I appreciate it.
Like I said, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Take care. Yeah, no, it didn't sell today. That's not a big deal. It will stay in the collection. In this case, I never got past first base, and it's just the way that it happened.
It's you again. What do we have here?
I actually got one of the most important documents in rock and roll history. The contract between Brian Epstein, who was the manager, and the Beatles, creating the partnership between the two of them.
You have the original Beatles contract.
Yep.
That's a big wow factor right there.
What's really unique, it had to be signed by two of the parents, James McCartney and Harold Harrison, because at the time, both of them were under 21.
All right, what you have here is pretty, I mean, it's pretty incredible. Obviously, you want a lot of money for it.
Yes. This is the holy grail of rock and roll. It's an agreement between Brian and the Beatles, basically giving him 25% of all royalties. I came back because the last time I sold Sgt. Pepper, and I got a good deal, and hopefully I can get another good deal this time.
The articles hereby appoint the manager to act as their manager throughout the world for a period of 5 years from the first day of October 1962.
And the agreement basically states what Brian Epstein's cut would be, including vaudeville, concerts, movies, merchandise. The Beatles actually got paid a lot less than he did.
You got a ridiculous management amount. You got 25%.
Exactly, that's what this says.
But the entire contract wasn't going to be valid until Brian Epstein actually got them a record deal.
That is correct.
Brian Epstein was a genius. He basically transformed the Beatles from an unknown band playing small clubs into the biggest rock band ever. When he died, he couldn't be replaced, and it played a large role in the Beatles breaking up. To actually have his original contract in front of me is surreal. Where'd you get it?
I got it from the person who actually bought it in Christie's in 2004. Basically, I have the original receipt from Christie's, and I also have who's verified this particular document.
Okay.
It's got all the official seals. It's embossed, and it's in the original folder. It's never been altered.
Okay, how much do you want for it?
$1 million.
That's a lot of money. I'm gonna call my guy. I just want to make sure that everything is 100% cool before we start talking price. You know, I can imagine someone spending a ridiculous amount of money to make a brand new one of these.
I totally understand.
All right, hang out. I'm gonna get him down here momentarily.
Thanks.
This contract is legendary. Some people consider it the most important document in the history of rock music. If this thing checks out, I will do what I have to do to get it.
Now that's cool. I've heard about this piece before. It's been well documented. People want Beatles stuff. Autographs, stuff, lyrics, you name it. You know, the stuff they wore on stage. The Beatles are always #1. In terms of their signatures, I mean, they're still the most sought after. It's not uncommon to have them together, but on a contract, that's a pretty rare piece in itself. The contract is well known throughout the Beatles collectible world. It was one of the most significant contracts in the history of rock and roll. It's a thing of legend. I can't wait to get my hands on it and really take a look at it in person. I'm gonna start off at the top with John Lennon. I'm just looking for live ink. I'm looking for overlapping.
And the overlapping is where it gets darker.
Yeah, it starts to get darker. You could see one pen stroke go over the other. I see no reason to believe at all that this is printed, it's not a stamp, it's not a copy or anything. These are definitely live signatures on here, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
It's a very good thing.
Absolutely. You have some really early signatures of the Beatles. So what I've done here is I've tried to pull out some super early stuff that I have on file. What I'm starting to look at here, letter formations and overlapping. The Harrison signature is just, you know, very early signature for him. John Lennon wouldn't sign John W. Lennon as a signature. He'd never do it for someone in person, but this is a pretty unique situation. But I'm still seeing a lot of the same similarities here, especially in the double ends here. So these are all very good signs.
All right. So is it real?
I mean, based on everything I've seen here, there's no question that this is genuine.
That's awesome for me.
Yeah, it's all cool. I mean, what's it worth?
I'd put the value of this piece right at around $500,000.
Okay, he's asking $1 million.
Well, I mean, a record just sold a month ago for $300,000. You're talking about a record.
Right. The one thing you have to be cautious of is when you look into the history of the piece. In 2008, I saw another sale of this piece. And that's kind of where I'm not sure. And then 2009, it was supposed to be offered through a raffle.
What happened was the gentleman who did own this basically made a deal to raffle it off if it raised enough money, and it didn't raise enough money, so that never happened.
What about the 2008 auction?
It didn't sell. When that price came down, it wasn't high enough for the seller. That's what happened.
Okay, so it didn't meet reserve.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I got enough.
Okay, well, good luck on that.
Thanks, man.
It was awesome to see the piece in person. I mean, it's a great piece of rock and roll history. It's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I think I gave a pretty good estimate of where that piece is priced at, but the seller is entitled to put whatever value he wants on it.
All right, so you're still stuck at $1 million?
I really got to get $1 million.
I don't see
Talking
it.
about history here.
You know, and when you start talking that money, there's very few people in the world that have that much money.
I totally agree.
Okay? If I bought it from you, I have to put it in auction. So they charge me 14, 15%. I mean, you're not gonna like my price. I mean, I pay you like $350 for it. You know, I have to look at it. I think I can probably get $500,000 for it.
You know what? That's an incredible offer, but I'm really gonna have to stick to $1 million. I could probably take it to one of the major auction houses tomorrow, and I really believe that I could probably get $1 million reserve on this.
Okay, you take the risk. I would go $350. That's cash right now. If you don't take that, I would wait for another auction.
I'm gonna have to decline on the $350.
Good luck with it.
I appreciate it. Thanks very much. I'm disappointed I couldn't make a deal. I really wanted to sell it today, but I really had to find the right buyer. Today just wasn't it.
Chum and I are in a warehouse in Los Angeles that sells sneakers, and they actually have a pair of shoes that Michael Jordan wore in the movie Space Jam. This warehouse is full of rare sneakers, and Chum has already found some other shoes that he says we should consider buying. Now we're waiting for Chum's expert, and hopefully Chum hasn't put me in a jam on this trip.
All right, here's your guy. All right, Rick, Yeezy Buster, Rick.
I go by Yeezy Busta because I bust celebrities who wear fake Yeezys. I keep my identity hidden and wear a mask because I don't want to get sued for defamation.
So what do you think?
So first up, we got the Freddy Kruegers, one of the most sought after dunks ever. Do you mind if I take a closer look at them?
By all means.
All right, so let's see. Here we can tell that the shoes are brand new. There's no heel drag. And I mean, this is definitely an authentic pair and they look amazing. I love this shoe. So I see you picked out the Encore 4s. This is actually the remake. It's an unofficial retro. The quality is on point. The smell.
What are you smelling for?
The glue that actually puts the shoe together is supposed to smell a certain way. Fake factories put a different type of glue that smells very bad and very strong, so these ones actually smell right. These are definitely authentic.
All right.
So tell me about Yeezys.
So these here are actually one of my favorites. The fact that Kanye actually wore these on tour is just incredible. This was actually supposed to be the 4th colorway of the Yeezy 1, but these shoes were scrapped completely, so there's only like a couple of sample pairs in existence.
All right. And the Paris ones?
When those released, plenty of people didn't really even care for them at the time because they didn't know their true value. So there's plenty of pairs that were just thrown on electricity lines, and nobody really cared about them.
I mean, this shoe kind of is the shoe that, at the time, set skateboarding shoes on the map to be worth something more than just to skate in.
What do you think they're worth?
So for the Freddy Kruegers, I would price them at about $26,000. The Encores, I would price them $32,000. For the Fire Red or Ferrari Red Yeezy sample, it's really hard to put a price on it just because there might only be one in the world. If I had to put a price on it today, I would say $150,000. And now the Paris Dunks, I would price that at around $72,000.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
I still haven't seen the Space Jam shoes.
Well, we had to warm you up, Rick.
You know, we had a lot of cool sneakers out here, but this is definitely the holy grail.
Okay, let's take a look.
I've actually seen these once before, and it took my breath away.
Oh, I thought a light was going to come up.
Oh, my goodness. Rick, Michael Jordan wore those in one of the most iconic movies ever, Space Jam.
I don't think Space Jam was one of the most iconic movies ever.
It had Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny in the same movie. What's more iconic than that?
So I have the Air Jordans that Michael Jordan wore in the movie Space Jam. After the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, there's been so many people contacting me that found out about me owning these sneakers. So I think I'll act like a free agent and see how it all pans out.
Awesome.
Where'd you get them?
I got them from somebody whose relative worked on the set. Apparently MJ handed it to him.
Space Jam came out in 1996, and it was a live-action movie. It had Michael Jordan and some other basketball players in it, along with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it grossed a ton of money. It was like over $200 million it grossed. And there's a sequel coming out with LeBron James, right?
Let's just hope he does it justice.
This is more than just a movie prop. It was the first time that this model was unveiled. And this was like one of the most popular Jordans ever made, the Jordan 11.
So what do you think they would go for?
Just the fact that Space Jam is the highest grossing basketball movie of all time, and also The Last Dance did come out, which made all of Michael Jordan's memorabilia just go through the roof. I can see these selling for upwards of $1 million.
Oh.
There you go. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I'll be in LA for a few days. Maybe we can have some dinner.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll give you a call. Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
All right, Rick.
I don't know enough about the sneaker business. It's too much for me.
I mean, you can at least make the guy an offer.
I mean, I'd offer him like 300 grand because I just don't know enough about shoes.
You can't do better than that?
I'm good.
What about some of these other shoes? I don't want you to leave empty-handed, Rick.
I'm really interested in those Paris shoes.
Well, let me grab them.
Now, those are cool. So would you take like 55,000 for them?
No.
What would you take?
70 grand's a great deal. That's family love price.
60?
65.
Can we meet at 62?
Okay. Cool.
All right, deal. 62 grand.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'm gonna do a little bit more shopping on stuff I can actually wear.
All right.
I don't even know who he is anymore.
I really was hoping that we might come to a deal on the Michael Jordan Space Jam shoes, but time will tell, and we'll see what happens with them.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. What do we have here?
Well, it's a Claude Monet painting.
Is this the weird chance that your name is Claude Monet, or is this actually the Claude Monet?
No, this is the actual guy.
Okay. Where in the hell did you get this?
Collateral for a loan.
Okay. The guy just defaulted on the loan, or?
No, actually, he took the money, went in the hospital, and died.
Okay.
So that, I guess, in itself is a default. I've had the painting for 3 years, and to be honest with you, it's not really my kind of art. I am not an art collector. But I know if it's real, it's probably worth in the neighborhood of $2 to $3 million.
Do you have a date or anything else like that when it was done, when it was painted?
I
Is
don't.
there a title to it? It was just,
I don't.
okay. I mean, was this guy really well off?
He was. He was a doctor.
All right. I know a little bit about Monet. He started arguably one of the biggest art movements ever, the Impressionist movement. There was Pissarro, there was Renoir. All these really, really great artists came out of it.
So he started this.
He started it. I mean, Impressionism is named after his painting Impression Sunrise. That's why his paintings are worth so much money. The things that made Monet paintings so great, they were a little bit blurry. That's Impressionism. But you could still see detail and depth. That's what made them so special, and that's why they go for millions and millions of dollars.
What I have here is some documentation,
Okay.
some provenance for you that you can look at.
All right, so May 1st, 1965. Our findings as follows. The painting is a solidly constructed casual canvas, a typical Claude Monet from his early period. Okay.
Then we jump forward to 1997. The painting was actually displayed at the Las Vegas Museum of Fine Arts.
Okay.
This was the insurance policy for that painting at that time. And it was insured at that time at $2.1 million.
People have walked in my shop and I have bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise off them. But a real Monet, that might be the most expensive item yet. So you want to sell it, correct?
Correct.
You know, I just 100%, I am not qualified to say if this is real or not.
Okay.
But I might have a lowly pawn shop, but I do spend some serious money every once in a while.
Sure.
So let me get a friend down here.
Okay.
If this is legit, I think we can both make money off it. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thanks. If they bring some people in, it only helps the situation. I'm hoping to walk out with $1 million.
Oh my gosh, this is the Monet.
This is it.
All right. Monet's one of the biggies. I mean, when you think of fine art masters, Monet's right up there near the top of the heap. He established probably the most important artistic movement of the last 200 years. I mean, there's prestigious museums that can't get hold of a Monet, so you don't expect to see one in a Las Vegas pawn shop.
You say I'm not prestigious? Yeah, wow, really?
Nothing personal. I love Impressionism. The way that they were able to configure and juxtapose in short dabs of color to where as you step back from the painting, your eye puts it all into focus in a natural way is phenomenal. Now, was it on exhibit at the Las Vegas Art Museum?
It was in
All right.
1997.
Okay. They say early period, which is very vague. I mean, he lived a very long life.
Yeah.
He started painting very early, so what's early period? It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. But he was a perfectionist, and a lot of his lesser pieces have kind of been lost to time. So this may have been a piece that he did, perhaps as a study to another piece. Let me take a closer look at it,
Please
if you
do.
don't mind. My first impressions of the piece is it certainly looks like something Monet would have painted late 1870s when he was fascinated with a lot of rural France and he was trying to capture the pristine, untouched beauty of some of those types of areas. It's indicative of Monet's brushstrokes. Impressionists were all about, as the name would indicate, capturing the impressions of a scene. And when you work in plein air, out in the open air, it's all about speed. I mean, because the lighting changes, the wind kicks up, the shadows move. So you have to really capture the impressions quickly. The brushstrokes are there. It's very thin. Usually you'll get some sort of impasto, a little bit more texture. He usually had some texture in his pieces, and this, again, there's very little of that. He also was known for having a very, vibrant palette. All of the master works that you see have every color of the rainbow. I mean, you've got purples, you've got oranges, you've got reds, you've got greens, and there's very little of that. But that having been said, I don't want to dismiss it because, again, you're talking about a piece that, if it's authentic, this could be a $5 million piece. But on the same token, you have to be really careful.
So red flags means it's not real, or?
I'd like to get a second opinion because, again, when you start talking about these types of upper echelon pieces, the more opinions you can get, the better.
Okay.
And just because there's a few red flags that I see, he may not see it that way.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Is that okay, Rick?
Sure, yeah, give him a call.
Okay, I will. If this piece is authentic, this could certainly be the most valuable piece I've ever checked out for Rick. You really have to dot your I's and cross your T's, and it always helps to get another opinion. Gerard is the man that I go to in our gallery when we have masterpieces come through just to verify authenticity and things like that. I trust his opinion implicitly, so.
Okay.
I'm a fine art expert specialized in authentication of important masters. Before to look at the name, you look at the technique, because you see rapidly the difference between a Sunday morning painter and a real artist. If this is a real Monet, it will be a very important Monet because of the size and also because of the subject, because he is a painter from the outdoors, from the landscapes. Monet is known for that quality. The first thing, if it's a Monet, it should be 150 years old. So we should at least see cracks in the painting. Yeah. Also here in the signature, there is absolutely not one crack. That's interesting. Yeah. If we look on the back of this painting, may I lift it?
Sure,
Is that no problem?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. What I'm looking at is at the texture, the canvas, all indication of who it could be. You will have all the oil paint sweating through the canvas. Here you don't see that.
So is it real?
It's in the style of Monet, but it's not absolutely not by the hand of Claude Monet.
Really?
Yeah.
How sure are you of this?
200% sure, because there is absolutely not one crack in the paint itself, which is not usual for 150 years old painting. Also, what you notice is almost all in one plane. Monet will have showed this with shadows. This will be much more pronounced. This is too flat.
Wow, really? Not real.
Not real.
Oh.
Usually when it's too good to be true, it generally is.
Well, that's disappointing.
Well, thanks for bringing it in. It was fun. Man, if I lost out on millions, I would be bummed too. But not as bummed as me shelling out millions for a fake.